Good evening. It's Friday evening. It's 6:30, a little earlier than usual, but it's Sid Says with all your latest transfer news, gossip news, and Tottenham Hotspur talk. Joining me, as always, is my Friday night sidekick, Sam Spurs for Life. Good evening, Sam. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Sid. How are we doing? I'm not saying looking forward to the game. Yes, we'll talk about it later. No, it's been a good week. Just seeing how the players are doing. Obviously, the season starts very soon. Arsenal kickoff in a week's time. Can you believe it? It's here already. So yeah, whatever happens tomorrow, we need to see what these players are like, where they're at.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about getting ready for tomorrow's game, and I think we've discussed this before with Sean as well and everybody else. It ain't going to be a friendly tomorrow, basically, because of the connections with Jose Mourinho coming back to Spurs, getting us sacking him just before the final. So both the managers will have some kind of motives and what can we say, gearing up their team to not lose that game. And also, the whole point of this program, transfer updates, ZANIOLO, PAQUETA or Maddison. And one of the players in question, hopefully, should be playing tomorrow for Roma. Could that be his final game for Roma? Or could it be one of many more to come for Roma? Who knows? Who knows? So, before we kick on, I'd just like to welcome everyone joining us this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. Please smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you're following us, because 15, 16 people at the moment. That's 15, 16 likes. Please, that's all we ask for. Just like. If you want to see more of me and this guy next to me, please like and subscribe to our channel. So, not much happening this week, really, in terms of transfers. Not a lot of incomings. There's a few players that have been muted as potential coming in, maybe. But we'll discuss that towards the end of the show. And there's a lot of outgoings, possibilities.
Yep.
May happen, may not happen. Again, we'll touch on that at the end of the program. But this program literally it's about the three players in question, which is ZANIOLO, PAQUETA, and James Maddison. Now, I don't know what your feeling is, but it looks like we're going for a playmaker, and he seems to be. For me, I personally think that position now seems more important than a left centre back. Please, people, don't shout at me, don't shoot me or whatever. But at the moment, our left centre back position, because we got Langley, seems to have quietened down, and we're now looking at an attacking midfielder, and these three are popping up. What's your opinion so far on what you've heard and what you may think may happen?
Yes, just touching on that point you made about the centre back. I still think we need a centre back. It doesn't necessarily have to be left-sided, but I think as dire cover, because obviously Roden looks like he's going out of the club now, so that's a defender short. Do we need another homegrown player? There's lots of things talking about that, but we definitely, I think, need another centre back. Going back to these players now, so PAQUETA, I profess I don't know much about him, but ZANIOLO, Roma player, I've had a bit of a look at him, just seeing him through the YouTube things. Again, not seen a lot of him play live, but what he has got, he's got a lot of skill. He seems to, have that bit of ability to beat a player. Dare I say, the Messi's about him, you know what I mean? He's got that sort of like jinky, he's got that jinky sort of run. Lucas has got that. We know that Lucas does that quite a lot, but doesn't seem to have an end product. This guy seems to have a bit of an end product. Seen him strike the ball lovely. So, from an attacking perspective, you've got goals in him as well. But I just think James Maddison, he ticks a lot of boxes for me. And I think if we can get him out of Leicester, I know it might cost a little bit more, but would that be a better option for us? Premier League proven? I think it would be.
See, I think what it is with ZANIOLO is that a lot of people that watch the Italian league will probably know. I think Shawnee is one of them as well, because obviously plays for Roma, so Shawnee will know a few about him. And talking of which, good evening, Sean. There you go. ZANIOLO is the bomb. There you go. So, a lot of people. He's a youngster. A lot of people will have heard of him. There's a lot of hype about him at the moment at Roma. He's doing really well. Obviously, they won the I forgot that. Oh, that Mickey Mouse Cup.
The Conference League.
Cup. Yeah, the Conference League. He won it last year, and he was quite impressed with that. So, Juventus are after him as well. And it's, as far as I'm aware, it's a 2-horse race between Spurs and Juventus, but it looks like Spurs have got the upper hand over it. As for Lucas Paqueta, a few players, a few people that I know have said he's a really, really talented player, plays for Lyon. To be fair, I've not heard much of him, but I've done a few, and he does look quite a decent player. My eldest just said to me, Dad, he's 94 rated on FIFA 22 on the TOTS card, so he can't be rubbish if he's 94 rated. And I'm like, what does that mean, son? Because obviously I don't play FIFA, but then obviously the other ones, they all said, yeah, 94 means it's decent, it's decent. Yeah. And we all know about James Maddison, Leicester City. We were linked with him when
he was
at
on
Norwich.
FIFA? What is he on FIFA then?
Don't. I'll show you in a minute. Okay. I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, so we were linked with him previously, but I think for the £1 million that we didn't want to pay, he ended up going to Leicester City. He's had a couple of decent seasons at Leicester City, but could be surplus to the requirements. So, talking of the free players, let's have a quick little insight into the three. So, as you can see from there, Nicolo ZANIOLO is 23 years old, Lucas Paqueta is 24 years old, and James Maddison is 25 years old. These stats are only for the 21-22 season, so that's just last season. ZANIOLO made 28 appearances. He scored 2 goals, had 2 assists. His shot per 90 minutes were 2.5, and his pass success rate was 76.9%. Lucas Paqueta, on the other hand, made 35 appearances, 9 goals, 6 assists. His shot per 90 minutes is 3.90. His pass success rate was 80.7%. And James Maddison, 25 years old again, 35 appearances, 12 goals, 8 assists, 3.66 shots per 90 minutes. And his pass success rate was 79.6%. So looking at them, Sam, if you look at the pass success rate, it's neither here nor there. And also the shot per 90 minutes. Paqueta's got 3.9 and ZANIOLO's got the lowest. So if you're looking at them stats, I know which player I'm going for.
100%. You can easily, it makes, even cements the case even more for James Maddison, because, he's the right age, 25, perfect age, really, coming into his prime, got years ahead of him still, but not, a novice. But the numbers that he's had in the Premier League, I know this is all competition. I'm assuming it's all competitions, 20 goal contributions there. And people were saying that he didn't really even have a good season. He's a bit of a troublemaker. He's in and out the side. He's this and that. Well, if he's been not that good this season and he's got 20 goal contributions in a central attacking role, then I think that's pretty decent. As I said, for me, he's a player that I've liked for a long time, and you can see how he could fit into the Conte system really well. Yeah,
and ZANIOLO, he can play centre, he can play right. So he's an attacking midfielder, centre, right, and he can play as a forward. Paqueta is the same, attacking midfielder. He can play through the centre, on the right, as well as a forward. And James Maddison can play as an attacking midfielder, centre, left, and right. So out of 3, Maddison can play all 3 positions, whereas the other 2 are more like the right and through the middle. So again, if we're putting it in tick boxes, that's another tick for me in terms of James Maddison. And the most important thing out of the 3 with these 3 players is the homegrown part of the equation, because as we all know, our homegrown talent at the moment is getting lower and lower because we're buying more and more foreigners. So James Maddison fits the bill in every single way you're looking at it. And the most important is the English one. I mean, Paqueta, I don't know much about him, to be fair, but from what I've heard, he plays for Olympic Lyon and he's done quite well for them.
So what you got to look at, there's also we've got to take other things into consideration. Obviously, if it's a blank checkbook, anybody would say they'd go out and sign whoever they wanted. But we know football doesn't work like that. We know contracts. We know teams have ways of keeping players that they want to keep. Sometimes keeping players that they don't want to keep just to try and drive prices up, bidding wars and etc. I think with James Maddison, he's got 2 years left on his contract. So I'm not sure what sort of price he's probably likely to go for or what Leicester were demanding. I would imagine those other two players are going to be less in terms of cost, but would you be prepared to pay that extra bit of money for James Maddison? I really think it's worth doing because, we've got a player that, as we've just done, ticks a lot of boxes for us that takes us into a season where we're going to need experience. We're going to need that know-how in the Premier League and also the ability and talent to take into the Champions League as well.
I totally agree with you. This is the thing, isn't it? It all boils down to. I know ZANIOLO is on PRTv and Conte's number one target, right? Number one target. So, it looks like he's going all hell bound for it, and the fact that we're playing them tomorrow, I believe that talks are already planned. Talks have already been held by PRTv and ZANIOLO's agent and rumours people. And apparently there's further talks tomorrow before or after the game. The fact that they're there. So it seems like ZANIOLO's their main target, if you know what I mean. But the other thing with ZANIOLO is the boy's 23 years old and he's had 2 major ACLs, right? And that could be a worrying part because at that age, if you've had 2 ACLs, right, then you've got to take that very, very seriously because whatever 40 million pound you're going to pay for, if you go into a club then and an intense Premier League, within a month or so, you get injured, that potentially could be the end of you. And it's a massive, massive gamble.
Now, what you have to say is that the sports science medical facilities these days in terms of repairs and recoveries from such injuries is a lot better than it was 20, 30 years ago. Even in the last, I guess, 5 years, surgery's improved dramatically. But as I said, in terms of his body breaking down at that sort of age is more my concern, to have them 2 injuries at that early age. If it happened a little bit later in your career, you could kind of say, well, yeah, the wear and tear of having played at the highest level is going to take its toll on the body. But if the guys had them at 23, that just kind of puts me that, when Bale was having a lot of his injuries in his younger days, and then, do you know what I mean? He was the sort of player that you have to nurse through. He gets to a certain age and he can't just continuously play. It strikes me that this is one of them players he doesn't, I don't know. He's the lowest of all the appearances last season. Is that a reason why?
Who knows? This is an interesting question. It's a very interesting question, and I hope our medical team and
I hope
what I mean.
They can't take a risk with this. Like I said, they would have to do thorough checks. They'd have to 100%. Go back in, probably do all that consulting with whoever who's done his surgery. I think they'd have to do some real due diligence on this. Yeah. I can't see him just saying, "Oh, well, we just got to do it." Oh, you know what I mean? We'll just do a scan. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully not. Hopefully not.
But the thing is as well with ZANIOLO is, as much as there's a lot of good reports going on about him, right? I know we're looking. I think it's a loan option with the option to it's a loan with the option to buy at the end of the season. But my biggest worry is, like you said, if he comes into the Premiership is a lot tougher than the Italian league. The tackles going to I can't say Burnley anymore, can we now? No. So somewhere up north let's go Newcastle on a Wednesday night when it's absolutely freezing cold, it's raining, it's peeing it down, right? They've got their billions, but it's still going to be raining and whatever. And something niggly, little. I mean, nowadays he doesn't even need a hard challenge. He just needs a little small soft challenge, and you could be gone. And is he going to be? Is he made up for that? I don't know. PAQUETA, I think some of our Paxton Road boys will be happy because that's another Brazilian. So that would then probably keep Emerson, Lucas Moura, and Richarlison. So that will make a quadruple, a quartet of Brazilians in our team. I don't know whether Mr. Hustler and Sean would be happy with having a fourth Brazilian in our team, and Mr. Pipes and whoever. Out of the three, I don't think Paqueta's gonna happen. I don't personally think Paqueta's gonna happen. However, never underestimate Tottenham Hotspur. Never underestimate our manager. Out of the three, and like I said, James Maddison for me seems the most obvious option. I'll put to you another set of stats. Now, this I've sort of gone on the FIFA side of stuff.
Oh, here we go. This is how we do it now. Championship manager and FIFA to choose
That's
players. Well, to be fair, I'm looking on YouTube a lot of the time for these players. And so if you put everybody's good points and everything in a package, anybody looks good, don't they? So
absolutely. And if you've noticed, they always show the best bits or the worst bits on YouTube. They never show everything that's happened in between. You know what I mean? It's like the films. When you go to watch a movie, the trailers are always the best bit. So you go and watch it, and then you sit there and you think, what the hell?
Exactly what it is. Exactly what it is.
But
like, fair play. You can still catch a lot from it because you can see a person's natural talent, the ability, the technique and stuff. So I can see a lot from that. Obviously, you don't see what they don't do well. You can't see that because obviously everything they show is what they're doing well. So a player like ZANIOLO, does he track back? Does he, press well? I'm not seeing all of that side of things, and that's important in this side of the game as well. It's not just about the attacking side of things. You want to see what he's like defensively. Does he fit into different systems? Can he play on the left side? Can he play on the right side if he's not necessarily just a central player? Again,
and like what you just said, Paqueta is a right and middle. Zaniola's right in middle. Maddison plays all three positions. So that's number one. And what you said about the defending side of it has Conte got in mind that, okay, my attacking playmaker ain't going to be coming back. So I'm not really bothered about them defending. Has he got that in his mind? Or
I think Conte's work ethic, the way he makes these players work regardless of their positions, suggests to me that he wants players that are going to want to run, that are going to put the work in. If you start having a player that doesn't have to do that and the other players see that, particularly when you're not winning games, it becomes a problem. You can imagine you're 1 or 2-0 down, someone doesn't have to track back. You're saying, what's going on? What causes problems. Everybody's got to work equally hard in a team of Conte's, in my opinion. So, I don't see that if that's the case.
Cool. Right. So here's my other set of stats that I've done for you. So this may or may not push you towards certain players. People in the comment section, please carry on leaving your comments. I see there's a lot of comments coming through. We will go through the comments as well, just at the end of this slide. But again, through these stats that come through as well, if you've got an opinion on the three, which one of the three that we're talking about, Zaniolo, Paqueta, or Maddison, would you like to see in the Spurs shirt? Yep, put it in your comments and we'll read them out. Right, so here's the other set of stats, as you can see. Okay, so the way I've done this one is I've done pace, shots, passing, dribbles, the defensive side, and the physicality side, right? And straight away on the defensive side, you can see, okay, let's start off with pace. Zaniola's pace is 87, Paqueta's 91, Maddison's 94.
Surprises me, but yeah.
Yep. Dribbles, 87, Zaniola, 96, Paqueta, 97, Maddison.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So far, if we're looking at pace and dribble, who's your man?
It's staring us in the face, isn't it? James Maddison currently.
Yep, right. So shots, Zaniola's 82, Paqueta's 92, and Maddison's 92. Now defensively, 55 Zaniola, Paqueta 86, and Maddison 70. Yeah.
Now that
So
does, now you can see that's starting to make a little bit of a difference there. You can see
yes,
from a defensive point of view, they're very close in terms of the shots. They're not too far apart in their dribbles, not too far apart in their pace either. So when you start seeing this defensive side coming, obviously I don't know how close FIFA is to how close they match them on the pitch, but they're usually pretty good with these things.
pretty
That
good.
starts to get interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah. And this ZANIOLO card, is it ZANIOLO? Oh no, the PAQUETA card is the tops. So it's a team of the season card. So that's his team of the season card. The other two are not team of the seasons, but it's their highest card on FIFA. Now, if we look at the pass, we've got 88 ZANIOLO, 94 PAQUETA, 96 Maddison, and the physicality side, 85 ZANIOLO, 92 PAQUETA, 80 Maddison. Maddison. So, like you said, there's depending on what Conte is going to look at.
Yeah. It really does depend. What do you think with these when you see these things? Because obviously, viewers, we're not saying that we're going to go by FIFA, whatever it is, 2,095 million, going to say this is how they choose players. But
no,
it kind of, they do try and get these pretty accurate. So you kind of match them up because they want to keep as much reality as possible. So from your point of view, if you saw that, what? Because that doesn't give you any more in terms of like their contribution in terms of goals and assists. And we know that Maddison's the highest of all these three players. But when you look at the age of PAQUETA, he's 24. Could he be improved even more than the other two? What do you reckon?
You see, now, when you put it that way, right? Maddison, yes, did get more goals and assists. PAQUETA wasn't that far behind. You know what I mean? But if you're going to put these stats in front of me, right, then I'm saying PAQUETA and Maddison, the top two, pace and dribbles, they're there or thereabouts, near each other.
Yep.
Shots, totally equal. The defensive side of it, and now I'm putting my Antonio Conte hat on, and if I want to bring in a player that's going to work as a team, for the team, together as a unit, then PAQUETA looks like the player that's going to do that job for me, because it's not even a 1 or 2 points, it's 16 points or whatever it is. Yeah, that's a massive gulf. Massive.
But what I will say to that, and we kind of said it already when we talked about, will this player have to work hard to defend? Will this player have to work hard? And we both said we think so in a Conte team. But ultimately, this creative player is going to have to create. He is going to have to contribute assists. He is going to have to probably contribute into the goals, because at the moment we're relying on Son, Kane, and more so Kulusevski of later times. But we do need goals from elsewhere. Our wing backs are going to need to produce us goals. So, yeah, you might say you could lose a little bit of the physicality. He doesn't have to be as physical. We know that Conte can improve players in terms of their tactical abilities anyway. Just saying.
I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. But let's throw it out to the people in the comments that have tuned in as well. Looking at these stats, has this now swung your decision towards PAQUETA from Maddison, or was you always PAQUETA? Let's see what the people in the comment section think. Leave your comments on there and we'll read them out. Because for me, if we go back to this stat, and again we're throwing our hat on again, 12 goals to 9, and then 8 assists to 6 assists. You see, it's only 3 goals, so we're looking at 15 to 20. So goals and assists is only a matter of 5, right? 5. Now,
how was it Olympiacos he plays for?
Olympiacos, yeah.
How well did they? As I said, I didn't really take much notice of what they did last season. So, how well did they do in La Liga?
We can work that one out. We can work
La Liga. I'm
talking
about La Liga. It's Olympiacos. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not Olympiacos. Sorry, it's Olympic Lyon. You play for Lyon.
Lyon. Okay, so
French
Lyon. La Liga. Okay.
Yes, he played from Lyon.
Lyon.
So, and Lyon, and I don't know where they ended up, but I'm just looking at the last seasons. But if you're looking at them, if you're looking at that now, right, them stats and everything I've given you, and you now have to go and buy one of these 3 tomorrow, Looking at that, who are you going with?
You see, I again, there's some caveats I'm going to have to place here. I would definitely say that Ligue 1 is not as tough as the Premier League. However, I don't know how well Lyon did in the Champions League. Were they in the Champions League?
They were 8th in the league.
They were in Champions League, Europa League. What were they in last season?
I'll look that up now.
Yeah, because again, it's the level of football he's playing. If you could say the level of football that James Maddison was playing is at a higher level in terms of his league appearances, then yeah, I'd say James Maddison is always the one to go with. We've got the added Brucey bonus of him being homegrown. We need that homegrown quota, and he knows what he's doing in the Prem. So yeah, man.
Lyon got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Europa League last season.
Okay. So they win
got knocked out in the Europa League quarterfinals.
Yeah,
so
Europa League's a decent competition these days. So you know what I mean. You can't really. Again, we don't know how well he did. I don't know how well he did, but
yeah,
I still don't think it's swayed it enough for me. It's not swayed it enough.
So, okay, so you're still going Maddison, right, on the free?
100%.
Right, and so if you've got a say now in the matter, and you've got a direct call to Conte and PRTv, and they said, Sam, we're stuck. We're in a dilemma. Yeah, we're doing a Nelly and Kelly. No matter what I do, all of it's a dilemma. We've got these 3 players. Who are you ruling out? Who are you ruling out completely now out of the 3?
Oof, that's a tough one. That now is because we've seen that the PAQUETA stats are decent. We see now his defensive side of things is good.
There you go. Lyon got knocked out by West Ham.
Oh yeah, of course it did, but I don't remember him in the games. To be honest, I weren't really watching that West Ham game, if I'm honest. So again, I haven't seen that. ZANIOLO, we're talking about the injuries, and that really does plague on me in terms of getting those significant injuries at that age. I really think that's a big thing that needs to be overcome. So, God, it's hard, Sid.
Isn't it? Just hold that one for the time being, right? And I'll come back to you at the end to make a final decision. We're going to talk a bit more. I personally think, right, they're hellbound on ZANIOLO. Everything
looks like it. It looks like it
in ZANIOLO's favor. PAQUETA just came into the equation, I think, about a week ago, and then it's sort of just slowed down. However, I've also heard that the Maddison to Spurs is slowing down as well, because there's not been any more contact being made by Spurs, nor are they thinking about any further progressive, not at this moment. It all looks like all their pens and all their coins are all in one bag, and it's pointing in the way of Roma. Whether we go, we've got the money to go all out, 40-something million euros, I think it was, to get him. Or now I've heard that they're looking at a loan for a year with your option to buy at the end of that year. But it's all swinging towards ZANIOLO, right? So for me, something PRTv and Conte have seen in ZANIOLO that they're persuaded to go for him.
Yeah. Again, is it the sway of the Italian league? Do they know a little bit more about him because he plays in Roma? Is that because maybe the scouting has been done a little bit better? As you said, the PAQUETA one seems to have come out of nowhere. I didn't even hear that name until you mentioned it to me earlier when we were doing the show. ZANIOLO, as I said, I had more of a look at him on YouTube than I've had a look at PAQUETA. So again, that's and it's only because of them injuries. Because when you watch him, he looks like a really talented footballer, really talented, skillful, very skillful, and has got that finishing touch as well. So if we're down to 2, Maddison or ZANIOLO, ZANIOLO looks like he's the one that they want. And if it is the one that they want, you've got to trust Conte and PRTv.
This is the thing. And do you remember back in the 80s? Sorry, guys, but it's a long time again. But remember back in the 80s, Colonel Abrahams? Should I listen to what you say or listen to what your mates say? It's a tough decision to make. Anyway, they seem to be like, let's have a look in the comment section. So our very own Sean Hurl in the comments. Big up Sid and Sam, the Friday night team. Thank you, Shawnee. Thank you. Another one from Sean. Please hit that like, hit the bell, hit the notifications. 41 people are watching at the moment. 41 likes would be much appreciated. Just smash it. Just hit it. Good evening, David Clark from Leicester. David, we're going to go through your comments, but I'm sure you've got some information with regards to James Maddison. Good evening, Simon Cohen. Evening, lads. The hottest Spur. Coys. Now, you see, they're going off the Tottenham Hotspur official Twitter page where they changed the coins to 7 coins. And I was thinking, is that the 7th signing? But we still haven't got that 7th one yet. So let's see what happens.
How long ago was that coins thing anyway? That was a while.
A couple of days ago.
Really?
A couple of days ago. Yeah.
Nah, I'm not reading into that. I'm not reading into
that. Michael Bennett, good evening, peeps. Come on, you Spurs. Good evening to you as well. Simon Coyne also saying 3 or 4 top players still needed. Josh Smith is saying, there we go. I still think ZANIOLO is a smokescreen for Maddison now that we need a homegrown player. That's a very, very good statement there. It could be. But then again, I don't think it is. I think they actually want ZANIOLO.
You know, yeah, probably do. But it might be. You never know. He could get both of them. Do you think?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know.
Here we go. The hottest Spur. I think we're getting ZANIOLO. I reckon Conte fancies him. I think there'll be a lot of ladies that are going to end up fancying him. Eddie Ryan, what centre halves will we get in? That's a good question, Eddie. And
there was a mention of Tyrone Ming. I don't want to say his name too much because I might end up saying it in the wrong way because that's what I think of him. Tyrone Ming.
And what was the comment that you put this afternoon on the 3K Daily? What did you liken him to? Who did you liken him to?
Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. I said Sanchez with mini dreads. That's it. He's true. It is Sanchez. We don't need another Sanchez. And it's only got a little few dreads. I'm just jealous. That's why I'm saying it. But no, seriously, we can't get Tyrone Ming.
10-0 football, big up Paxton Road. Big up to you, 10-0 football as well. David Clark, Leicester City is in the mud. They have 11 players near the end of their contracts. So there you go. That could be. Sean Hurl, ZANIOLO is the bomb. The hottest Spurs, ZANIOLO is over 6 foot and very, very strong. Okay. Simon Cohen saying it will be Juventus. He reckons he's going to go to Juventus. But however, Juventus are looking at somebody else as well today. So it'll be an interesting one. David Clark is saying Schmeichel has agreed terms with is it Nice, isn't it? No, yeah, with Nice. Tielemans wants away. Their Brazilian centre-back wants off. Maddison hasn't signed a contract. So there you go. Sean Hurley saying he's a Juve fan, but they are broken bombs. Long may that continue. Hashtag Deja Roma. David Clark is saying, I'd rather have Maddison. ZANIOLO looks like a more powerful Lamella. I think Maddison has more strings. Could be. If he's got the shithousery as well that Lamella's got, then that's even more. I think a lot of people are swinging towards this. Maddison is a homegrown, is more useful to us when we are at limit for foreign squads.
Such an important thing. I think we're also forgetting the Premier League experience. That has got to be taken into account and consideration because we want players to really come in and make an impact. I know we had the luck with Kulishevsky and Bentancur last season. They came in the last day of January and they both hit the ground running. But you don't want to take too many chances, particularly when I said we're going to win the league or Champions League. There, I did it. Said it again.
There you go. And we need more homegrown players for your reality to happen. So, right. Hot to Spurs. Yeah. With those stats and homegrown, it has to be Maddison. So will this
couldn't agree more, should I say? Couldn't agree more.
100%. David Clark is saying if PRTv leaves it
before you go on, there's 50 odd people watching. Yes, everybody make sure you smash a like on the stream for Sid Says top ITK. We're gonna call it ITK. We've got so many names and acronyms for Sid, but this one, make sure you smash a like on it.
Smash it, absolutely, yeah, because I was hoping actually to announce one of the signings tonight, but you never know. Keep smashing, and in the next couple of days, you might get an extra Sid Says special where we announce the 7th magnificent signing. Right, David Clark. If PRTv leaves it too late in the window to go for Maddison, then Leicester own 100% will not sell him. Totally agree. That is totally agree.
I think it's getting kind of late now because, you know, the players, the other team's got to get a replacement. Usually that's what they do. They want to know that somebody else is coming in before they sell, or, you know what I mean, at least deals in somewhere new done. Not, I don't know.
This is it. Sean Hurley saying Paqueta is Brazilian, was at Milan, too young, learned the European pressing game at Lyon. However, good reports. Yeah. David Clark doesn't want ZANIOLO by the looks of it. It would be a big mistake. What else is there? Here we go. Michael Bennett saying there was reports we're going to get ZANIOLO on loan for the season with an option to buy. Not the worst deal. It's not the worst deal.
That's not a bad deal because, like I said, it's an option to buy. And like we know, sometimes with options to buy, like what Everton have an option to buy our fella, or certainly making them out appearances. Yeah, if it doesn't go quite as to plan, we'll see you later. See you later.
Right. And following on to that, what you just said, Sam, 28 games, 2 assists. That's not a creative number 10. I've got to agree with you on that one, David. I've got to agree with you on that one.
100%, I do agree. Yeah, the lowest assist stats of all them players. And as I said, we are looking for a player that's going to be creative in our team. So, yeah.
And then Sean Hurl, sell Emerson and keep Paqueta if he comes. So there is 10-0 football saying Maddison all day. Josh Smith is saying personally Maddison, however, Paqueta prefers us over Arsenal and Newcastle. So it's, I think, Mr. Dino Dinosaur, Maddison, he would work extra hard for a Kane link up with a World Cup call at the reward. Now that statement there, I think, should come into the equation because World Cup's coming up towards October, November, and Maddison will be going hellbound to try and get a position in that squad. Now, if we bought him and he then starts to play with Kane and links up Kane with really, really well and shows Southgate that, listen, mate, I can do bits, and look at the main man, I'm feeding him left, right and centre, that could get him, that could cement his place for the England squad. Sam, thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot of competition in the midfield for England anyway, but we haven't been playing that well recently in terms of England performances. So there's always room for players, if they play well in their club, should I say, there's an opportunity for them. Is it a bit late for Maddison this season? No. If he was to be at Spurs and gets the opportunity, how much opportunity is he going to get to play? How many times are we going to get to see him? Because we know that the formation is more likely to be the 3-4-3, and we're only likely to maybe change to that if we have to, unless he comes in and does bits, and then we have to change our system to get him in the team. I don't know, but I've always maintained that I think he can play in the 2. It's just whether or not Conte wants to bring him in to do that, or wants him to play in this, 3-5-2 system that everybody keeps thinking that we're going to need to play. So, yeah, I still think Maddison. Benton or Maddison.
Okay, 10-0 football. Off topic, but Boys to Men or Jodeci? Well, honestly, to be fair, 10-0, last season, I think under Nuno, we would seem to be going to the end of the road, but I couldn't let go because Tottenham belongs to me and I belong to them. But it's got to go with Boys to Men. Got it. Right. Let's have a look. Okay, we've got here Preston Taboy. Now, Preston, is that your name or are you actually from Preston? Because I'm from Preston originally, and we're going to talk about a signing that Preston North End have done from Tottenham Hotspur. He's basically saying 2 are traditional number 10 playmakers, and the third guy from Italy is a winger. Come forward.
Yeah, okay. I've seen him when I watched. Like I said, when I watched the YouTube clips, he was playing more from a wide position, cutting in, finishing. But he's a very jinky player. He can, he's very much a dribbler.
Yeah. Cool. And JC's making a nice little statement here, but it wouldn't surprise me the least if Arsenal swooped in and signed Maddison while we are making our mind up on him. He's a no-brainer to sign.
You know what? I think for Arsenal, they've got a lot of those type players already. They've got like the Fabios, they've got Odegaard, they've got Smith-Rowe. They've got a lot of them type of players that can play that central attacking role. They need more of an enforcer. They need defensive midfielder or a definite box-to-box. So I think they're all in for Tielemans. And this is the point. If Tielemans goes to Arsenal, I don't think we're going to get Maddison. I think it's one or the other in terms of this season's transfer window for Leicester.
So I think what JC is trying to tell Conte and Parata is you got to speed it up, but not slow it down, because you got to make your mind up. Anyway, let's forget that one.
I've made my mind up already about that song.
This now, the question to you is, because I've got, I know you want to got 7 in 15 minutes, so we've got 15 minutes of transfer exits I'm going to quickly discuss. So my question to you, and I want a simple answer from you, and I want a simple answer from everyone in the comment. We've got about 50 people watching who hopefully have smashed and liked and followed us. Out of the 3 players we've talked, I want in the comment section, and from yourself, Sam, ZANIOLO, PAQUETA, or Maddison. That's it. I want one name that you want out of the 3. So let the people in the comment section leave their comments, and I'll read them out later. Sam, what you saying?
If you don't know already, it is James Maddison.
James Maddison. And I will second you on that, James Maddison, because number 1, homegrown talent, and the fact that I've liked him when he was at Norwich City. We was after him as well. And we're going to need homegrown talents. The other 2 are decent, but PAQUETA for me, I've not heard too much about him, and it might be a bit of a risk to come to Tottenham. ZANIOLO, what's putting me off is his 2 ACLs that he's had at a very young age. So Maddison for you and Maddison for me. So far, we've got Maddison, ZANIOLO, Maddison. So Simon Cohen saying Maddison. David Clark said Maddison in capital letters. Preston boy,
they know. Our Paxton people are very knowledgeable about football.
Exactly. The hottest Spur is saying Maddison. JC is saying Maddison, Premier League ready. Right. So we've covered that section. Moving on to basically what's happening now in the transfer window with regards to Tottenham Hotspur. What we're going to do is I've got 6 or 7. We're quickly going to brisk through them. So the first one is Troy Parrott's joined Preston North End on a season-long loan deal. I believe he had Sunderland and QPR after him as well, but Preston were already in for him prior to these 2, and the talks between Preston manager Lowe and Tottenham Hotspur progressed very well, and they like the idea of what Lowe had in mind for Parrott at Preston North End. And Preston North End's a top city, top football club, and Tom Finney's a legend, and that's my hometown. So thank you very much, Tottenham Hotspur, for giving him Troy Parrott. Thoughts on that one?
Troy Parrott suffered in his loan deals over the last few years. It's difficult, obviously very, very difficult for him to break into Tottenham team with Harry Kane there. But we've got other youngsters coming up behind him now. You know, you've got the likes of Scarlett. His name nearly went out. I Dane Scarlett. You got the likes of him pushing as well at 17. So Troy Parrott is, I really do think he's a bit of a make or break. He has to really go to Preston and knock a loss of goals in, really push them to whatever they need to do, promotion, etc. And then we can see whether or not this player has got a future at Spurs. Because I think if not, he'll be another. You know, what a defender we sold. Oh, I've forgotten his name already. Defender, and we sold him to Celtic.
Oh, Carter
Vickers. He was always on loan, and then he just never materialized. Now he's nowhere to be seen at Spurs. There's been a few players like that. I do feel for Parrott because he looks like he really put the effort in pre-season. Yeah, but that's the way it goes.
I know he's really excited to go Preston North End, and a lot of Preston fans are really excited for Troy Parrott. So it's the Lily Whites connection. So let's go for it. Next one, Dane Scarlett joins Portsmouth for the 2022-23 season. Good move for him.
Yeah, I think so. Again, he's another player that needs to have first team football regularly. If they are going to play him, and they are going to play him regularly, we'll see whether, again, he's going to toughen up. This is going to be playing in the league where you've got to be a bit tough. Well, you've got to be very tough, in fact. So that will tell me whether or not he's got that robustness. He looks a little bit lightweight last season. He looks like he's put a bit on. Obviously, winning the under-19s tournament, that's given him the confidence. So let's see what this season brings for him.
My favourite player, Giovanni Lo Celso, wanted by Villarreal, Fiorentina, and Napoli. I won't give a monkey's where he goes. As long as he leaves the club, I don't care.
Listen,
any thoughts on that one?
He's a player that doesn't suit the Premier League. I think that's clear to see. He does play and looks really good when he plays for Villarreal, and even Argentina, they've got a place in that team squad for him. So he can't be a bad play. He just doesn't suit the system that we play and doesn't suit the Premier League more so. So, yeah, see you later. Bye.
Cool. Joe Rodon set to join Rennes on loan with the option to buy for 20 million euros. Now, this is unfortunate. Unfortunately, we bought him when he was really good at Swansea City, and he's just not had the rubber of the green at Spurs. And we've had managers come and go, Poch, and then we've had Nuno, and now we've got Conte, and he just doesn't seem to be getting a look in. I think it's a very good move for him to go out there somewhere and actually play some football and get experience. And then if he plays that good, then we get money back on him.
So the option I get, is it an option to buy? Is it a loan deal with an option to buy? As you said, for 20 million?
It's a loan. So, and then
he's an unlucky player, is Joe Rodon, in terms of not being really given a chance. But what I will say is, when I've seen him play, and it's a little bit unfair, but I'll say it anyway, I've seen why managers probably haven't trusted him. He seems to be a bit erratic in terms of his positional sense. I see him following players all over the place sometimes and exposing us. And sometimes when you're that central centre back, you can't really do that. You've got to be a bit more disciplined. Yeah, I think if he's going to make it in football, in terms of, he's obviously playing for well, so he has made it in football. What I mean by that is, if he's going to make it at a top club, he's really going to have to get playing. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, totally agree with you. So I think that will be good for both Spurs and for Joe Rodon himself. Next one, Valencia want Hill back on loan. Now, we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago on the South Korea tour, and we said, he's one of these players, or there was a couple of players, weren't it? We were looking at him, Papa Sarr, Troy Parrott, and we were saying, are these players going to be in the squad, or are they going to be sold or loaned out? Parrott's already gone, we know. We don't know about Sarr yet, but this one looks like, I think it might happen. Thoughts?
Valencia want him, is comfortable for him, but do we want a player to go back and be comfortable again in a league that he knows he can play in and has come from before? It's nice for him to go back there, and I guess it makes the player happy because he is going back to Spain and playing in a league that he knows. But if he's going to make it at Spurs, I would suggest that he needs to be playing in the Premier League, realistically, possibly even a Champions League, the Championship, to get that experience of the pace. It's the pace, it's the physicality that I know that he needs to get more of. He's busy, you know what I mean? He tries hard, but he hasn't quite got that for Premier League standards. So a loan's good. I'm just not sure whether this is the right loan.
Cool. Just before we move on to the next one, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 57 people watching. Please, just 57 likes would be appreciated. Then subscribe and follow and like Paxton Road, because we've got the content out there for you guys. We keep you entertained. So all we ask for is just smash that like button. Smash that like. Right, next one. AC Milan show interest in Tanganga. Gone. Okay, sorry. AC Milan show interest in Tanganga.
I'm flabbergasted. If they want him, if they're showing interest, just don't talk about him too much. Just get the deal done and get him off. I think he needs to go. Yeah. Apparently,
it's one of them. They've come to Tottenham, they've knocked on the door, and they've said, "Hello, is Tanganga in?" Yeah. And then they've left the door ajar and said, "Not a problem. We'll come back to you." They've got other options as number ones, but Tanganga is just there as an option if necessary.
Again, he's another one. He had a bit of a start to his career. I remember the game against Liverpool where he looked like, this player looked like he's going to play. And then he played a few games at right back where, he looked like he could play. Something happened. I think it was an injury. I think he suffered an injury. Then that kind of brought him in and out of the team. And then he kind of suffered again from a lot of players. Did change your managers. And, is he a fullback? Jose said you're not a centre back. You're more of a fullback. He says he's more of a centre back. Conte, what he's played him in both positions as a wing back and a centre back. I don't know really where his best position is because I don't think he's the dominant centre back that we need, and I don't think he's good enough as a wing back. So, yeah, get him out. Maybe something like, what's his name? That played for Manchester United. Chris Smalling. Chris Smalling looked like he was a terrible player at Man U for a while. Terrible. And then he went out. Is it to Rome, wasn't it? Rome, and
yes, and he done well.
Done well.
Don't forget, Tomori left Chelsea and he had a blinder last season at AC Milan. So, and these two might know each other.
So that could be the same thing for Tanganga. Let's hope it would be, because if he went to AC Milan, let's say, tore up the place, won, Scudettas and all that rest of that good stuff that they've got over in Italy. Imagine then he'd be coming back to, I don't even want to. That's the sort of attitude you want from the player. Like, I've now improved. Look at me. So I don't see it though, but maybe.
Next one. Barcelona are willing to offer a player in exchange for Sergio Reguilon, whilst Sevilla are also interested. Sevilla, obviously, he came from Sevilla to us. Barcelona apparently want him and willing to offer as a player. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are saying that Memphis Depay could be one of the options. If he came to us, man, oh my God, that would just be mental. But it looks like the end of the day for Reguilon. And what's your thoughts, Barca or Sevilla?
You know what? Barcelona are playing like, when you just spin like a roulette and it's just like it's landed on this. Oh, we'll go through now. Oh, Reguilon. Yeah, that's how it seems with Barcelona. They're just getting for everybody. Now, if whoever scouted and says that Reguilon needs to come back to Barcelona, again, he's another player that's going to be very comfortable back in Spain. I think we kind of had a little bit of a up and then it was like a steady down. And again, another player that maybe had an injury and his career didn't pull back, COVID as well. But then there's kinks in his armory as well. And I think that Conte, as a manager of that top level, said, nah, you're not that good, mate. And you're not good enough for me. He trusts Sessegnon over him. That tells me everything, really.
Yeah. And I think in answer to the question that was posted before about Boyceman or Jodeci, unfortunately, it's the end of the road for this guy. So, yes. And one rumour that surfaced today, we've been linked previously, but Nikolai Milenkovic is on the Spurs radar with talks with his representatives due in August. So that I've heard about that this morning. I know Man United have got him for him.
Do you know much about the player? Because I honestly don't know much about him. So you might have to talk to me about him.
Milenko Savic is a beast. He is a beast of a player, and we've had conversation about this guy. He is the kind of midfielder. If you ask,
Milenkovic Savic.
Nikola Milenkovic, yeah. Or is it Milenkovic Savic? Yeah, it is Milenkovic Savic.
If it's Savic, if it's Savic from what's it called? Lazio. Is it Lazio?
One second, let me just double check. Is it Savic?
Sure, no.
Or is it just Milenkovic? Yeah, it is.
Listen, folks, you need to educate us. Educate us in the comments.
1 second. No, I know it's not.
In the comments.
No, sorry, Milenkovic is.
You have me all confused. Then I was like, oh Jesus.
No, he's Milenkovic is.
That's how much we know about this player, Jay. Ladies and gents, we don't know anything.
He played for Fiorentina. That's it. Yeah, we was linked with him prior. He played for Fiorentina, and I think it was Sid Says or some. I'm sure it was last summer. I think
what Barcelona doing, just spinning the bloody wheels. Sid on that one.
We was heavily linked with him last summer, and then it just did not materialize. But again, apparently it's come up this morning, and we're now looking at him, and we've got Paratici has got talks planned with his representatives in early August. So I don't know. Well, early August is what, only a couple of days away.
Early August is Monday. Bank holiday Monday for you.
Exactly. So there you go. There you go. There you go. So that is just the routine transfer roundup of outgoings at Spurs, because we seem to be doing a lot of incomings, but at the moment,
that's another good point that you've made there. We've got to get players out the door as well.
We've got to get players out, and so that's the ones. Right, let's have quickly go through the comment sections and then we can go. Right. So Michael Bennett is basically saying Leon had a bad season all around, apparently. Sean Hurley saying ZANIOLO scored the winner in the UECL, more medals than Son and Kane.
2 more ACL injuries as well. Don't forget that.
I know.
2 more ACL injuries.
I know. That's the problem. Let's have a look. I'm just okay. Here we go. Right. Rohan Edwards is saying Maddison. Sean Hurley saying Maddison, then PAQUETA, then ZANIOLO. Kevin Murray is saying, Sam, we are going to do a top 4 predictions show. Okay. David Clark is saying,
he's asking us the question. Are we going to do one? That's what he's saying.
Oh, sorry. Are we going to do a top 4 prediction show? Right. Go on, Sam. Answer that question.
Should we do one? I'll tell you what we could do. We could probably do something like that for talking points. Yeah, good point. Let's do that for talking points. Have a bit of prediction show on talking points. Very good shout, Kevin Murray.
As long as you're on the show, Kevin, as well. And we want your
8
as
p.m.
well.
Don't forget. 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Mondays.
8 p.m. David Clark, if we sign ZANIOLO, we'll just get a lot of free kicks in the opponent's half, and then we get James Maddison to come and take him. Sean Hurley saying the Irish boys at Preston North End helped to Sid. That's so correct. David Clark, Parrot has to play, Parrot has to play, Parrot has to play, Parrot has to play. Sorry,
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there. We see that one, David.
David Clark is saying Scarlett has to get in the Portsmouth with them in the gym with them sailors. What else is there? Preston Tabois is saying keep Hill.
If you're going to keep Hill, yeah, I agree. If you're going to keep Hill, you've got to play him, though. If you're going to keep him just for him to knock about the club and join in the Macarena with Lucas, then there's no point, just let him go on loan, even if it is back to Spain.
Yeah. Okay. JC saying, does anybody, and I mean anybody, want Ndombele? I think McDonald's want him to do some adverts, but apart from that, I don't think there's any football clubs that want him. You know what it is? It's his wages. He's on £200,000 a week, and nobody wants to pay the 200 grand.
That's far too much. He's on far too much money. And a player, I can now see the player's attitude. If you're on that sort of money, and the player that he is, he's so laid back. He's thinking, I don't really have to do it. He wasn't that bothered when he went back to Lyon, was he? He kind of started all right, and then that didn't work out. So that again tells me the attitude of the player isn't of the level that we require, isn't probably of the level that any top team that's aspiring to win anything requires. So them sort of teams who he's going to probably want to play for ain't got the money to pay that. Ain't got the money.
That's it. Preston Tobal saying he's a defender. I think they meant Milankovic. And then Sean said Milankovic is at Fiorentina, centre-back, and SMS is at Lazio. That's correct. I do a lot of SMS as well, but it's all WhatsApp nowadays. The Milankovic is a different player called Milankovic Savic. Yeah, that's right. Right. So that's all the comments. That's everything covered. We discussed the 3 players in question, ZANIOLO, PAQUETA, and Maddison. And by the looks of it, it looks like everyone, myself and Sam included, and everybody in the comment section are swaying more towards Maddison. But who are we? You know what's going to happen. ZANIOLO's going to sign for Spurs on tomorrow's game. Literally. Before we go, Sam, are you looking forward to tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I am in a sense, because I think we need to see the players that we haven't seen much of play. I know we know what the starting 11 from the previous game, the Rangers game, suggested to me. We know that, and that kind of was Conte just saying, well, look, this is your opportunity to show me, are you ready? Because I've got players here that I think are ready. When Perisic came on that left-hand side, made a big difference. I think there's players in the midfield that are going to make a huge difference, and that's Basuma, in my opinion. And Longley looked really good. Don't forget about Jed Spence on that right side of the defence as well to attack, where Emerson, again, go back and do Zumba with Lucas. That's all you need to do this season for us. Don't need to do anything more. So thank you very much. Good night.
Faz Radfar has got a question for you, Sam, and I'll let you answer that one. With the current squad, what's your best prediction for Spurs this season? Tell him, Sam. Tell him.
We're gonna win the league or the Champions League. I've said it on multiple platforms. Nobody's taking me seriously. I don't care. I'm saying it with chest.
Good. Faz, we'll be doing a prediction show, as Sam just said, on Talking Points at some point. So please join us and have your predictions in as well. Just before we go, 65 people watching. Please smash that like button and subscribe to our channel and follow us. We will do everything possible to get you as much Spurs content as possible. We've got Talking Points. We've got Darius 3K's new show just started today. So if you haven't watched
3K daily. Yeah,
3K
it was
daily.
good. It was
Go on
good.
there, check it out. We've got Watch Alongs coming along. Judge Jody's coming back as well. Judge Jody's also doing a predictions show. So it's all go on Paxton Road TV. We, as fans, for the fans, will be delivering everything. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting tonight with my special guest, the one and only Sam Spurs for Life. Have a great evening, everyone. Enjoy the weekend.
People. Enjoy the game as well.
Enjoy the game, and we will see you soon. Tomorrow's the watch along.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
I think starts at 6:50, 7 o'clock. So cool. Yeah, join Darius 3K, Sean Hurl on that one. Mr. K's making an appearance. We may even see one of the Avengers. The Avengers that's long not been on a stream in terms of Marlon. Marlon Bashment might be on tomorrow. As well, so.
There you go. So there, if you're all not doing much, if you can't get the game, join the Paxton Road crew, watch alongs. It'll be 100%. Fun. I tell you that now. It is a lot of fun. You get everything going on there. Action. You get some serious talks from Darius and Sean and myself and Sam when we're on. But I'm not on tomorrow. You're not on tomorrow, are you, Sam?
No, I'm not on tomorrow either.
Sam's not on, so yeah. But we've left it in the capable hands of Darius and Sean and Marlon and maybe
Mr. K.
Mr. K. Mr. K. Forget Mr. T. We got Mr. K. Mr. K. So have a great evening, everyone. Have a good weekend, and we shall see you soon. It's goodbye from Sid, and it's goodbye from Sam.